Board members, Reverend James Irving, Mr. James Montoya, and Reverend Pitcock are unable to attend tonight's meeting. Thank you for joining us tonight. First order of our business is conduct executive closed session. The board will now conduct executive closed session to discuss items posted on our agenda pursuant to the following provision of Texas Open Meeting Act and as allowed by Texas Government Code sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, 551.0821, and 551.129. No voting take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as the result of discussions in the closed meeting will take place after the board reconvenes into open session. Time now is 5:01 p.m. Good evening, everyone. The board now reconvening into open session, and the time is 6 o'clock exact. Please remember, the items do not have to be taken as it has been listed. Thank you for joining us tonight, and please turn your cell phone to the silent mode. At this time, I ask Dr. Groman to give tonight's invocation.
Will you join me in prayer by bowing your head and closing your eyes? Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for your love and your care for us. And we're thankful for every Dragon student that we have, and every Dragon teacher, and everybody that works in this community to help Dragons be strong and learn and become productive citizens. Now, Father, we are grateful for the narrow way that you lead us in. May we represent you with our mouths, our minds, and our hearts. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Principal of Emmeline Carpenter Elementary School, Ms. Lindsay McInich, and her students going to leading us to the pledges to the flags tonight.
Good
Before
evening.
you start, Ms. McInich, I want to thank the parents and thank the students. Parents, thank you for bringing the students to this meeting.
Okay, stand up, come on. We have a few of our standout students. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Messiah Green. I am Jalissa Barron. I am Kalana Johnson. I am Emberly Brown. I am Layla Powers.
Nice to meet you, ladies.
I am Emily Baker.
Please stand up. Attention. Salute pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
We have some empty seats now. Very nice. That guy was helping me get my oil changed, the guy in the red shirt. He works for
Okay, at this portion of our meeting, we have recognition, and Mr. Les Linebarger will introduce and recognize some of our outstanding students.
Thank you, President Naramond, board members, Interim Superintendent Myers. Yes, we've got some of our great high school students here. The first group, first I'm going to ask Lindy Arbuckle to join me here at the podium. Ms. Arbuckle is a teacher at Nacogdoches High School and works with our STEM students. And last month, she brought 12 of those students to the State Science and Engineering Fair, and they are here tonight with us as well. And I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Arbuckle because there's no way on earth I'm going to come close to pronouncing some of these words that are in the titles of their projects. So, Ms. Arbuckle?
Thank y'all for recognizing all of these fantastic students. So I want to give a shout out to the STEM Academy class. We have 44% of this entire class that made it to the State Science Fair this year. So that is just phenomenal. So these guys are going to tell you a brief, we're keeping it brief, bit about their project. If I let them, they would each tell you about their project for the next half hour. So they've been restricted, but I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you what they did.
Hi, my name is Miguel Diaz, and I was partnered with
Nixon Long. Our project used data from the social media app Strava to analyze the training of Olympic marathon runners in the 2024 Olympics.
My name is Amy Lopez, and our category was biochem, and we grew microalgae under different wavelengths.
We created biofuel out of the lipids we collected, which can replace traditional fossil fuels. I'm Jean Choi.
I'm Luke Pierce, and me and my partner, we had a behavioral and social sciences project.
For our project, we tested the effects of biases based on clothing on how people conform to a group's opinions. Oh yeah, and I'm Jacob Norman. Yeah.
My name is Eric Gutierrez. I had a partner, Derek Polo, but he couldn't be here today. Our project was Misty Magic. We built big structures that had a big net that collected mist and turned it into water.
I'm Taylor Hart. My project was in the Earth and Environmental Science category. It was titled Salty Solutions, Dwarf Glasswort for Sustainable Agriculture. I tested the desalination abilities, or the ability to remove salt from water, of a plant called dwarf glasswort.
I'm Brian Martinez.
I'm Jesley Houston.
And I'm Irvin Cruz, and our project is titled Staph Is It Meant to Be? Antibacterial Properties of Mint Plant Against Staphylococcus Epidermis, where we inhibited the growth of Staphylococcus epidermis using mint extract and the disc diffusion method.
So in addition to competing at the State Science Fair, we have a couple other awards that were given out. Ms. Taylor Hart got the attention of the Texas Water Conservancy for her project and was awarded a cash prize. And then Brian Martinez, Jesley Osan, and Irvin Cruz will be competing at the International Science Fair next month. These guys are all graduating seniors this year. And I know that they have been working really, really hard to graduate with the STEM Academy. It's a very rigorous program. And in recognition of that tonight, I would like to award them their STEM stoles for graduation.
Nixon, that's his name.
While you are lining up, I have to say that first, on behalf of the board and myself, I want to congratulate you, and I am sure your future is very, very bright, and we're proud of you, the fact that who you are, and what you have done, and bring in a lot of credit to NISD. Thank you all.
Bien hecho, Capitán. Nixon.
And now,
President Nermont, I mean, some of these guys they were smiling a little bit because over the years I've taken so many of their pictures, and not just related to Science Fair and all the other activities that they're a part of.
yes, and they deserve it. And now CT qualifiers.
Thank you. Sean Lucina, please come on up and join me. Mr. Lucina is the Director of Career and Technical Education for the district, and he's going to introduce teams that qualified for the Texas Public Services Association state competition. Those teams include SRT, student response team, forensics, and first responders. Now, let you know right now, we're going to have another big group of these students next month that took part in some Skills USA competition at the state level. But I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Lucina right now.
Good evening, President Normand, school board members, Interim Superintendent Dr. Myers. At Nacogdoches High School CTE, we see successes and achievements every day, and they may take the form of a fantastic haircut, a delicious meal produced in culinary arts, or a successful tire change. And so when we recognize students' achievements above and beyond what we see every day, it is truly an honor. Tonight, we are representing or recognizing students that competed in the Texas Public Service Association. Building search, the team was Addison Gatwood, Alma Marinas, Garrett White, and Sergeant Eileen Zapatero. They received 12th place. In the event of cell extraction, 13th place, Noah Bradford, Michael Diaz, Lieutenant Audrey Gillespie, Luis Diego Hernandez, Autumn Johnson, and Violet Ramirez. In the event of crime scene investigation, this team tied for first place at state. Yes. The team consisted of Sergeant Karen Caporali, Lieutenant Ariana Lopez, and Sergeant Cesar Zavala. In the event of disturbance call, 10th place, Alexa Gonzalez and Sergeant Zatavius Miller. Drone exhibition, 3rd place, Captain Adorabella Bennett and Autumn Johnson. Felony traffic stop, 5th place, Captain Adorabella Bennett, Sergeant Karen Caporali, Sergeant Zatavius Miller, and Sergeant Eileen Zapatero. Fiber analysis, 7th place, Taylor Maddox Findley and Kristen Shipman. Fingerprint collection and analysis, 13th place, Ariana Garcia. Fire agility course, male, 6th place, David Mendez. First responder, 6th place, Jocelyn Gonzalez and Alma Marinas. First responder, 7th place, Ariana Garcia and Emily Santoyo. Special weapons and tactics, SWAT, 12th place, Captain Adorabella Bennett, Noah Bradford, Michael Diaz, Lieutenant Audrey Gillespie, Luis Diego Hernandez, and Jessica Perez. Last but not least, I want to recognize the special instructors that make these skills known to these students. Jacob Rodriguez, Roya Dimbali, and Laura Carroll. They are experts in their field, and it shows with the results of these state qualifiers.
Congratulations, all of you. We're very proud, as proud as your parents are.
This has grown. How this group has grown over the years. I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, I feel safe.
Nobody gave you this. You learned it, you applied it, you earned what you've gotten. And now you get the chance to show who's best in this state for those who qualify. And if you didn't qualify this year, there's always next year, and there's a next year, and the next year. And what you are making out of your lives comes in a large part from those teachers right there. They have mentored and modeled for you. So that's your job now, mentor and model. Be who you are, but be helping someone else along the way. Thank you.
I mean, they try really hard not to smile.
If they'd stand them up here, have 2 tiers. That's okay.
3 rows. She always takes Johnny.
Los chaparritos del frente.
She's even nice.
That is, and that's only half of them.
Yeah.
Did you see how many SRTs there were? That's the one that
Excellent. Okay. Great, all right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Lucina, thank you for the work you do.
Yes.
Now, at this time, our interim superintendent, Dr. Myers, report and announcements.
Okay, thank you. Board, just want to make you aware that Nacogdoches ISD will be entering into TASB Facility Services, a contract with them for support in our long-range facility planning and making sure that our overall facilities are managed correctly. So we'll be doing that. That's a partnership, will assist the district in assessing conditions of existing buildings and prioritize any necessary improvements and make informed decisions about the facilities and how we need to continue to upkeep those facilities. So just a point of information for you. Tomorrow, though, is an exciting day for 7 of our students at Nacogdoches High School. They'll be competing in the Region 5, or excuse me, the Class 5A Region 2 track meet in Arlington. 2 of these students have excellent chances of advancing to the state track meet. This student jumped 7 feet and 1 inch at our area track meet. That's just incredible. That's one of the top 10 jumps in the nation this year. So congratulations to Micah Lockett for that accomplishment, and best of wishes to you at the state track meet, or the regional track meet. And he is set up to go to state. If he keeps jumping like that, I can assure you he'll be at the state track meet. Our other senior who is repeating at the regional is Christine Schick, and this is an accomplishment in and of itself. She vaulted over 12 foot, and that's quite an accomplishment in women's pole vault. I can assure you of that. So we're very proud of her, and congratulations to her, and best of luck at the region meet. Also, I wanted to point out that the Lady Dragons track team won their district meet earlier this month, which is, I think, it's been at least 25 years since they did that. So congratulations to the Lady Dragons track team. And best of luck to all the competitors tomorrow in Arlington at the Region 2 meet. Now talking about something that happened for the first time, and that's in our Fine Arts Department. It's really amazing to me, and that is that each one of our choirs and bands received sweepstakes in competition this year, and I don't know that that's ever been done. I know I've never been in a school district where that's happened, but I don't know about Nacogdoches, but it speaks volumes to me about the arts program and the fine arts program in Nacogdoches when you have that type of quality happening with students. So congratulations to them.
Can we applaud for them?
Also, last Saturday, I had the opportunity to attend the 17th Congressional District Art Competition in Lufkin, and Representative Pete Sessions puts that on. And this year, the theme was America the Beautiful, and we had a winner from NHS in that event, Alicia Dow, who earned first place for her piece Shooting Star. And I can attest to the fact in looking at it, it was quite an amazing piece of artwork. I was astonished that a high school kid did it, and she is very, very talented, and just very, very proud of her. And she also received a $500 scholarship to Angelita College for that. So the fine arts in Nacogdoches ISD are thriving, and that's great to see that we place such an emphasis not only on our athletics but also on our arts. So very proud of that. And finally, I wanted to invite NISD Chief of Police Joel Barton and Officer Dylan Cook to come to the podium. And Chief, would you bring the other officers up as well? Thank you. I just want to recognize Officer Cook. Earlier this month, he did some outstanding policing and put a quick stop to a potentially dangerous situation at the high school. While he was doing his patrol through the parking lot, he observed a single round, a 9mm round in a parked car, and as a result of that, we did a legal search on that car, and we found a 9mm pistol in that car. And as a result of his great observation and great policing, we were able to intercede in that, and so that we did not have an incident on the campus with any gun. So I appreciate that, and I think I speak on behalf of the board and the students and parents that thank you for what you've done. And I have a citation here that I'd like to present to you, and we'll come down and present that, and I would like you to get a picture with your citation, your chief, and your fellow officers, okay? Good thing he's not here.
Thank y'all for being here, and thank you for what you do every day to serve our community, our students, and all of our workers here. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, that's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you. Now we are in the public comments portion of our meeting. We have 4 requests to address the board, and each one would get 3 minutes call. And Deputy Superintendent Mr. Michael Martin keeps the time, and I will let you know where your time is expired. First is Ms. Anna K. Johnson.
First of all, it was so exciting to hear all the stuff that the students are doing. So I'm Anna K. Johnson, and I'm speaking to you again because it takes courage to stand up in a public space and voice an opinion that might not be appreciated or well received by your audience, in this case, the elected members of the Nacogdoches School Board. So I'm speaking on behalf of those who are afraid. We live in a precarious and uncertain time. Our Constitution and our democracy are being attacked and threatened daily. The freedoms we've long taken for granted are no longer guaranteed. The two freedoms I'm speaking about today are the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech. There are daily threats from our government to the freedom of speech. Media and journalists are being silenced, and now there's talk that public protests will be met with law enforcement when no laws have been broken. But today I'm using my freedom of speech to stand up for the freedom of religion, guaranteed by the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The Bluebonnet curriculum is a Christian-based curriculum for grades K through 5. The original curriculum purchased by the Texas Board of Education included lessons on other world religions. It was revised. In the current version, the one approved by the Nacogdoches School Board, these lessons have been removed. Only ancient religions and Christian-based teaching are included. There are other school districts in Texas which have either refused to adopt the curriculum or chose to use only the parts of the curriculum that don't reference Christian teaching. Teachers are not preachers, and they should not be put in the awkward position of teaching religious messages that may not agree with their own religious faith or the faith of the children they teach. We have a petition from parents and community members who believe that you should rescind your approval of this curriculum. 412 have signed this petition, and we continue to solicit signatures. Regardless of your religious beliefs, this indoctrination of children into a specific religion that is not shared by all violates their constitutional rights to freedom of religion. It also violates the rights of parents who, along with churches of their choice, have the right and the responsibility to teach religion to their children. Will the freedom of speech be next? The signers of this petition urge you to reconsider and rescind your approval of this curriculum, or at the very least, take the biblical references out of the curriculum. Thank you very much for listening. Who do I deliver this to?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Next is Ms. Pam Bobbitt Pearson.
I am a retired public school teacher here now in Nacogdoches to be near my young grandchildren who has multiple grave concerns about Bluebonnet. Sneaking it through to take advantage of a $60 per child bribe is not the way our system of government is supposed to work. Everyone should be completely informed to achieve the best results for our children. The idea that Christianity can and should be taught in public school is absurd. Christianity itself is not a monolith. The term includes groups like Opus Dei Roman Catholics to snake handlers and everything in between. Even if you are someone who thinks religion should be taught in a public school, anything that could be acceptable to all Christians would be so watered down as to be useless. I've been a deeply believing Christian my entire life and took my responsibility to indoctrinate my family from my perspective very seriously. I never appreciate someone else attempting to usurp that. There is no way to keep private prayer out of schools, nor should there be. but public religion of any kind does not belong in any public school. The best teaching outcomes are achieved by well-trained and experienced teachers capable of finding the best options to present appropriate information to each student in ways everyone is able to understand. Delivering handouts for teachers to parrot in the classroom ties their hands, limiting their abilities to attend to their students' needs. I am aware of good, experienced teachers who are leaving the profession because they are prohibited in seriously teaching. And the quality of the Bluebonnet curriculum is very critical concern. It will fail to prepare students to compete in the real world later in life. The world has changed. What was good enough in the 19th and 20th centuries' heavily agrarian society is no longer good enough to compete successfully on a world stage with what may be left of our 21st century U.S. economy. I am aware of parents who would have never contemplated homeschooling who are now considering it due to Bluebonnet. It may be good enough if all you're preparing boys to do is become linemen to help prop up Texas' failing power grid, and girls to become stay-at-home moms, both respectable endeavors. But I want my grandchildren to be able to follow their dreams wherever it takes them and have a broad enough knowledge to be able to field questions from children they may have someday. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next is Mr. John Watt.
Boy, those last two are hard acts to follow. I won't even try. My main thing that I'm going to talk about today is transparency. I approached a board member and asked that board member if he could tell me whether or not the school board members had been provided with a copy of the curriculum. He said he could not or would not tell me that. Is it a state secret? Is that some kind of confidential information that he can't tell me whether or not the school board was provided with a copy of the curriculum? I later found out that you guys were provided by at least a link where you could read about the curriculum. But why try to hide that from us? Now, we plan on being here every meeting until we get some kind of response from the school board. We'd like for you guys to place the Bluebonnet curriculum on your next agenda so we can have an open and frank discussion about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Steve Newton.
This is my first school board meeting. I didn't know they could be so inspiring. So they come back. I am Steve Newton, and I've lived in the bounds of NISD for 20 years, and 16 of those years I served as, I guess you can hear me, the pastor of Westminster Presbyterian Church on North Street. And I believe my successor is on the wall back there. I wish she was here. And James Montoya and I have done a lot of Habitat for Humanity together. I do have concerns about the new curriculum as well as a pastor. Some have already been mentioned tonight, so I'll save some time on that. I do worry about the curriculum violating the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. Not because it teaches religion. I think we have to know religion. It should be taught because you can't understand history without understanding the history of religion as well. But the curriculum makes faith statements. For example, in the curriculum, I understand it makes the statement, the Messiah was sent by God. That is a faith statement, which is not appropriate for public schools. And if we weren't worried about the Establishment Clause, I understand the legislature has provided an exemption for teachers from the Establishment Clause who teach this curriculum. And so if there's a problem, why do teachers need an exemption from the Establishment Clause? I do have a problem with how teachers are trained to answer theological questions that may come up. For example, in the curriculum, as part of an art class, Da Vinci's Last Supper is talked about, and that's great. But it suggested that the teacher read from the Gospel of Matthew the account of the Last Supper. And you know the scripture there, you know, Jesus talks about, this bread is my body, this wine is my blood. A child may ask a question about that, and is a teacher prepared to answer that? And I would rather a teacher not answer that question, because I'd rather that question be answered from the perspective of the faith that the children are raised in. The Presbyterian, the Methodist, the Lutheran, the Catholic are all going to give you different answers to that question. And so maybe I think, are teachers prepared to answer the questions that may be coming up? The most pressing concern is that I know as a child, that school can be difficult for children, have emotional problems. And I think a Bible-infused curriculum that makes faith statements will further alienate students in our district who are Jewish, Muslim, or from other faith traditions. And one example is that the Torah is referred to in the material as from the Old Testament. Well, for Christians, yeah, that's true. The first 5 books of the Bible are there. But for the Jewish student, they don't have an understanding of the Old Testament, and that would be confusing to them to understand the Torahs from the Old Testament. I know you've all heard the quote from Benjamin Franklin.
Mr. Newton, your time is expired.
You want to hear from Benjamin Franklin? No?
No, sir. Everybody
But
else.
it's a good quote from Benjamin Franklin.
Well, I'm sorry, 3 minutes is limit.
Oh, I rambled too long. That was my best line. I do thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Tonight we have one report, which is annual announcement of continuing education for board members. Under a state Board of Education rule, completing required continuing education each year of service is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member. As a board president, I am required to announce the name of each board member who has completed the required continuing education, has exceeded the required continuing education, and/or is deficient in meeting the required continuing education. The requirement for the training are measured as the first anniversary of the date that trustee is elected or appointed, or the second year of anniversary of his or her previous training applicable. There are 8 training areas for the board members' continuing education. First, local district orientation. Next is orientation to Texas Education Code. Next is post-legislative update of Texas Education Code. Fourth is a team building. Fifth is additional continuing education. Sixth, evaluation, or evaluating the student's academic performance and set the goals, formerly known as Senate Bill 1566 training. Seventh, identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children. And 8 is school safety. Additionally, trustees also complete cybersecurity awareness training every year. For each board member, I will announce the completion or the deficiency as required for the training. At the conclusion of these announcements, I will announce any board members training in excess of the continuing education requirements. Local district orientation, NISD did not have a new member as Board of Trustees this year. Orientation to Texas Education Code, NISD did not have any board members, new board members also this year. Post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code, it's a biannual update, and TEC was not required this year. Team building, all 7 board members completed this requirement on October 1st, 2024. evaluation or evaluating a student's academic performance and set goals. Again, all 7 NISD board members completed this requirement on October 1st, 2024. Identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of students. All board members completed the training on identifying and reporting of abuse and trafficking. Cybersecurity awareness is also a biannual updates cybersecurity awareness, and it was not required this year. School safety, all 7 board members completed TEA training on school safety. Additional continuing education, experienced board members are expected to complete 5 additional hours of training. Following board members have completed required additional continuing education requirement: Mrs. Leah Beth Apt, Reverend James Irvin, Dr. T.C. Groman, Mr. James Montoya, Farshid Niruman, Reverend Kelly Pitcock, and Mrs. Mindy Winslow. Exceeding required continuing education, board member Reverend James Irvin exceeded requirement of continuing education by 6 additional hours. Board member Dr. T.C. Groman exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 29.75 additional hours. Board member Mr. James Montoya exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 0.5 additional hours. Board member Farshid Niruman exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 14.5 additional hours. Board member Ms. Mindy Winslow exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. And this concludes our report. And we move on to consent agenda. Unless removed from consent agenda, all items listed will be acted on with one motion. If there is a board member who wishes to discuss an item on a consent agenda separately, please indicate the agenda letter and it will be set aside for further discussion and a separate vote. At this time, board members, do you have any comment on any consent agendas? If not, I'm asking for a motion.
I move we accept the consent agenda.
Dr.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Apt second. All in favor by indicate saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, Ms. Anderson. At this time is a discussion and action agenda. We have 3 items on the discussion and action portion of agenda today or this evening. First is action resulting from executive closed session. There is no additional action to be taken from executive closed session. Next is item B is consider approval of mediated resolution agreement, TEA docket number 008-CM-0125 and 043-DM-125. The motion for this action is on page 61 of your book.
Ready?
Yes.
I move that we approve the mediated settlement and release agreement resolving TEA docket number 008-CM-0125 and 043-DM-0125 on the terms reviewed in closed session and authorize the board president to execute the agreement on behalf of the district.
Okay, I need a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Dr. Troman, I didn't hear you. Okay.
I'm dreaming.
Motion passed. Okay. Now consideration of possible action on Regay Elementary School playground project, and I refer that to Dr. Myers, our interim superintendent.
Okay, on page 69 of your board book contains both the option A and B for that playground. My recommendation to the board would be that we go with option A, which includes the wood chips for the bed material. And that option is at $402,193.59. And I would ask Mr. LaRue to come forward to the podium in the event that the board would like to talk about the logistics or the depth of that project or scope of that project.
Good evening, President, board members, interim superintendent. I've asked Cindy to also be here since she's had a major role in planning all these projects. How can I help you?
Okay. Any questions, any comment?
I don't have any.
How old is the present facility, what the kids play on now?
At least 20 years old.
Okay. So it's about time to update.
Oh, yeah.
And be a lot safer.
That playground equipment that we have on there right now is in disrepair, is that correct?
It is. We've had to remove several items. We've had to block off several pathways with plywood. It keeps shrinking.
Okay. What is the scope of the work on that site as far as the playground is concerned, such as with the bedding material that's existing there, drainage or anything like that?
They'll come in and remove all existing equipment and the border that currently keeps the wood chips in place. They'll likely remove all the wood chips. They won't stockpile that because it just gets mixed in with too much dirt. There may be some drainage, and then they'll come in, install the equipment, which is one sub, and then they'll normally come in with a second sub for the surface. This community is very lucky. We have barely bark here in this region. They have a chip specifically designed for playgrounds that has passed test after test, so very close.
And we have had the wood chips before. This is what they have been doing. and
Yes,
they're
we have
fine.
wood chips at several playgrounds.
Yeah.
TJR has them also.
Yeah, and that just seems to be the only difference between the two
Yeah.
offers.
More questions?
I just want to thank you to everybody involved in providing this information in a timely fashion so we can get this done so that they can enjoy this. This is really, the physical education for our kids is really important. And we have less and less time available for them to play. So we want them to have a safe place to play and have fun and then work hard when they're inside.
Thank you both. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Okay. At this time, I ask for a motion.
I move that we approve option A for the Regatta Playground project.
Okay. I
second.
Okay. Ms. Winslow made a motion, and Dr. Groman like the second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. The board now will conduct executive closed session to discuss items posted on our agenda pursuant to the following provision of Texas Open Meeting Act and as allowed by Texas Government Code, Section 551.0821, 551.129. No voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as the result of discussions in closed meeting takes place after the board reconvenes into open session. We will be holding the executive closed session in this room. So I respectfully ask that this room to be cleared out. And time right now is 6:49 p.m.
I sign a drug test agreement every year for random drug testing because he's in sports. I was denied that. They told me they couldn't get a drug test. They told me they didn't do that. I said, well, why do I sign the agreement every year? We could have nipped it in the bud there. I do not have a problem with the amount of days that he did, and nothing that I'm saying is gonna change what has happened. Because it's happened, he has less than 20 days before he graduates. My thing of it is, like I said, the coaches should have done that. It should not have been waited that long to handle the issue. That's a major issue. If they were so for sure that it was a THC vape, legal charges should have been brought against each child that was accused of that. I feel like legal charges was not brought because they had no evidence. I hired an attorney. I paid $2,500 for my son. Nothing was did, and I'm not trying to be rude, y'all, please, because I know a lot of y'all faces. I know a lot of y'all are good people, but I also know that NISD sticks together. When you sit here and tell me that you have my son on video, you can't show me video. I even had admin tell me, well, we had 2 or 3 kids that say that they smelled this. What makes somebody, 1 or 2 kids mouth resolved? That's just like if I say, well, I seen you go in the store and steal a steak. 3 more people said, does that make you guilty? No. So you want to try to use these kids. So I was told by several football players that the reason why it took so long for the investigation is because certain admin, and y'all have the book so y'all know what I'm talking about, certain admin went to certain kids, if you say this, if you say that, you'll get moved up on the football team. One kid come to me and told me all this. I went back to Mr. Croft and I told him this. That kid played in that football game that Friday that my kid was suspended along with other kids. That kid played the next football game. When they got whipped of what that kid had said to a parent, he was punished. So are we targeting kids here? Yes, we are. I had my son tell me, a couple with the other kids, and a teacher there that heard it, come from the admin. I hope y'all enjoy playing y'all last football game because y'all football career is over. I asked that admin that. You know what he told me? Yeah, I said it because I was mad. Do you know how many things I can say because I'm mad? I'm an adult. I have to set an example for those kids. My son he still has 2 full-pay scholarships for football. He don't want to play football no more because of what happened. They wasn't acknowledging football. My son was Suffolk County dad. I didn't get up. My son did not get his cap and gown information sent to county dad. He did not get his senior pictures information sent to county dad. He did not get anything pertaining to a senior son up there. So last minute, me buying cap and gown for my son is very upsetting because at the end of the day, those are kids. Those are kids. You cannot take a kid, play a kid word and put it on another kid. You had coaches saying, I smell blueberry flavor. You had coaches saying, I smell this. I feel like y'all said that y'all smell so much. Proper protocol would have been followed, we would be going through this. THC vape is what was admitted to. That requires, what, 15 days county? How can y'all just say, oh, it's THC? Did you find THC? Did you even confiscate a vape? Y'all said y'all seen the light on the bus, but you can't show damn parent video. Well, I'm not gonna worry about the parents. You couldn't show me my son's baby. You couldn't give me a copy of an internal investigation that I requested. You couldn't give my son a drug test to prove if he had THC or not. Just because I had one say, oh, I know for a fact I deal with this all the time. My husband, such and such, such, such. We're not in here about your husband. You should have even been brought up in that conversation. We didn't hear about my son being falsely accused of vaping a THC. My son being put down so low where he don't even want to play football no more. My son dealing with harassment. Still going on to this day. My son come home with tears in his eyes about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He come in there and he told me, he said, Mom, he said, I was pulled out of class said that they had a reliable source that I had a THC vape. They searched my son. They took my son in a bathroom, and then they got his backpack and searched. So when he told me being a parent, I went to the school the next day. You know what I was told? Oh, it was a reliable source that sent him through a stall. What does a teacher have business peeping through a stall at a kid? How reliable was the information? You didn't find the vape. So at this point, was my son being sexually harassed? Was my son being looked at sexually? What are you doing peeping at a kid through a stall? And the information you gave was false because nothing was found. All I want out of this is fairness for any other kid that's coming up in NISD. My baby is graduating. Out of 5, I had 4 to graduate. That's the last one. I love a lot of stuff at NISD. I love a lot of people there. People know me. I don't care who kid it is. If it's sports, I'm coming. I'm supporting kids that don't have that parent. But I'm also going to stand up for kids when they're being done wrong. And with mine being one of them, that's why I wanted to speak to you all. I appreciate you all listening. Take heed to what I'm saying, because I'm being honest with the situation that happened to my son about 3 weeks ago, and then the head principal did not know anything about it until I called him this week because he's been out of our surgery. He didn't know nothing about this last incident. It's being swept up under the rug, but it's not with me. They didn't know I was coming to this meeting, but y'all need to look into that. We have, like they said, there's so much going on with the world today. It's not like it was when I was growing up. I've been out of school for 20 plus years. It's not like that. If school was like it was then and parents were like they were when we were coming up, we would have better kids. But we also had people to stick together. We had support. We had love. We didn't have people looking down, telling kids, this is your dad's football game. We didn't have all that. So I appreciate y'all listening to me. I'm not looking for anything out of this but other kids to be did fair, things to be did different. I have a timely manner, because if you want to look at the fact that the kids were vaping or where they said they did, what's going to happen to staff for not following proper protocol? So you're basically giving kids the assumption that when you break the law, you're going to get in trouble. When an adult breaks the law, it's okay, because they have rules. They have, NISD has rules. I know that. I work for NISD. They have rules, and they are to be followed. And that was not right. And I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sessions, thank you so much for coming and talking and sharing your heart. I appreciate that. Thank you for advocating for your child and for all the other children. I appreciate your heart. Thank you.
Yes, the same thing. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Well, with that, everything is concluded.
Ready to adjourn?
We ask a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.